no. What? Is this not good? I don't care.
No,
This is how it's gonna
can you
be.
just start? Can you start?
Moose shit.
Welcome to Moose Shit, where we spout bullshit. My name is Moose, and I'm joined by my dazzling diviners. For the first time in like a couple of months, Kuva and Al are back, baby. How are you guys doing today?
Woo! Yay!
This is just us back as a team. But we're
Yeah,
back
so no more talking shit about us.
It did better than your guys' shit, so
Fuck off, mine wasn't uploaded.
so what about Alex then? Does Alex also get a pass, or is Alex just pathetic?
Okay, so like here's the deal, right? Because I liked when you guys did the solo episodes because it really sets in stone the difference between all three of us and how we talk. Because I got really in depth with what I was talking about and like my own inner thoughts. Meanwhile, Koob, you just told stories, and Al was just a 12-minute small talk segment,
Well, I
which is
think
what we
it
do
shows
best at.
because, yeah, I mean that just shows that Alex doesn't add much substance. You know, it's just always very baseline. Can't rely on him for
I
much.
just I didn't want to just talk shit about you guys because that's pretty mean, and then I didn't want to just do a monologue about my life because I don't think anyone really cares about that. So when it's just me, I mean, unless I have some like, what do solo podcasters even talk about? Like true crime stuff? I don't even know a single solo podcaster.
It depends on the topic, and what their podcast is specifically about.
Thanks.
Wow, look at this. But all I know is, regardless of what we talk about, mine was the best. Like because I got the most views.
Yeah, well, we have one sample size, a singular sample size.
I mean,
so-
bro, I'm looking at the channel right now, right? And if you go to videos, right, and then you press popular, it's the second one there. And
Okay.
the other one above it was posted a year ago, and that one was posted 6 days ago. So you know it's just. I'm not saying you guys are terrible. I'm just saying that my abilities, like I'm just really good. You know what I mean?
All right, let's not act like you're blowing it out of the water, okay? There's 63
I am.
views on YouTube. 63.
63 in 6 days. The other one is 83 views in a year.
All right, well, you clearly went on your other YouTube alt accounts and just
Why would I do that, bro? Why would I? Do
because
that? I
because you
didn't
want
say
to
enough.
do this, what you're doing right now.
Okay, so then why wouldn't I have liked the video? Because the only
There
reason
was
I
one
liked
like on it.
yeah, that was just my actual YouTube thing from the one time I've listened to it. And you can even look on my YouTube; it doesn't even have the full red bar. Alex, you and your
So
five.
you didn't even listen to the full episode?
No, because I remember it because I was there.
Did you listen to our full episodes?
I didn't listen to Alex's, but I listened to yours.
Wow,
Mine
mine
just
was longer, Al.
You had no views, Moose.
Mine
That's what
was
I'm saying,
private.
bro. That's what I'm saying.
0, bro.
Go on Spotify. Check those analytics. Mine was private up until I was looking at Coob's.
Sure, buddy. Whatever you got to
Okay.
tell yourself.
That's what I'm telling myself. Because I am actually really funny and people like listening to what I say.
So now we're just lying. Is that what this podcast has come to? We just can't entertain anymore, so we're just lying.
Well, I was telling a joke, right? And it would have been obvious if you guys can hear the sound effects that I'm putting in, but you guys can't hear them. And I don't know why, but you guys can't. So it's making these jokes a little bit more awkward.
Nice.
But anyways,
Can
what do you guys
can you
want to
imitate
talk?
can you imitate the sound effects just like literally mouthing what you're hearing?
It's a good idea.
Those are cricket sounds that I put in
Okay.
for Al's stupid joke. Because fuck you. But what do you guys want to talk about? Because a lot has happened since we last spoken. Let's see. Not Like Us had its music video dropped, in which Kendrick had the entirety of California calling Drake a pedophile. Robert Downey Jr. is back. Marvel somehow has ruined two previous deaths of their characters. Let's see what else has happened. The former president was shot. There's a lot more that happened. And that's just like in pop culture. Now, personal lives, we started our jobs. Koob won his tournament.
Yeah.
Literally, what do you guys want to talk about?
Nothing much happened.
Nothing has changed in the slightest.
No, I actually had a very busy week this week.
I somehow doubt it.
Okay, well, okay. So first of all right, well, at work I did a lot, but I'll just skip over the work because the most interesting part about what happened this week is this Wednesday, right? This Wednesday, I am driving to work and I start to park in the parking lot at work, and as I'm backing up into the spot, I hear a big thump, and then I hear some scraping, and I'm like, what the hell did I run over? So then I pull out into the parking lot, like out of the spot and into the parking lot to see like what I ran over, if I hit something. And then I continue to hear the scraping. It gets louder and worse. And then it comes to a point where my car completely stops. So I get out of the car and I look. My left wheel is cool, but my right wheel, the wheel is completely off of the axle. Like it's almost sideways on my car. So I'm like,
Call me a shit driver one more time, and I swear to God.
No. I didn't actually hit anything. Okay, this is just wear and tear. Is what I came to find out.
Wear and tear.
Yes.
Your tire falls off your axle, and that's wear and tear.
Okay, so in the past month when I've backed into spots or when I'm like moving slowly and parking, I did hear a slight clicking sound in my car. But I thought nothing of it because sometimes you hear sounds in your car and you just ignore them. Sometimes cars make noise. So I didn't think anything of it. But now I found out that was the sound of my ball joint becoming loose, and it came to a point where the entire wheel came off the axle. So I'm like, shit, I am at work and I have to work. And so now I have to call AAA to tow me out of the work parking lot. And so I have to tell my manager who's there that I have to wait for AAA. And then I call AAA, which is already a terrible experience because they said that they're going to send a tow truck in 10 minutes. And then 20 minutes came by. There was no tow truck. And I had to call again. And they put in another request. And then I had 2 tow truck requests and only one showed up. And the other one called me an hour later or 2 hours later saying that they're about to come. And I said, oh, well, actually, another tow truck came already. But anyways, whatever. So the tow truck came and eventually towed my car to the nearest AAA shop. And then I had to work the rest of the day. And then the AAA shop eventually calls me in the middle of the day saying how they took a look at the car and they have to change the stabilizer bar. They have to change the right wheel axle. And they also suggest doing the other left axle because if you shouldn't just do one, you should do both. And then they quote me a cost of $1,800, which I'm like, holy shit, bro. I don't want to pay $1,800, especially for something that I know, especially for something I didn't hit anything, I didn't cause any damage. Huh?
I feel like if someone said you have to pay $1,800, you would have had a heart attack right there.
I know, I almost did, but it gets worse. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so I spoke with my parents. They said maybe you can try sending it to another mechanic shop, see if you can get a different quote. But if I send it to another mechanic shop, then I have to tow it over there, and towing costs money. But I asked I called a mechanic shop in our hometown, and a mechanic shop which my parents trusted, they were on vacation. Of course, the entire shop is on vacation for the next week. So that's the only mechanic shop my parents trusted. So I was like, okay, so I guess I have to do this AAA shop. And then I get off work, and my coworker thankfully drives me over to the AAA shop because it's on his way home from work. And so I was able to speak to them about what's actually going on with the car. So first they said it was $1,800 in the call, right? And then I get there, and then they say, oh, actually, the price we quoted on on the phone, that's actually the wrong price because we didn't add the right labor. And it's actually more money because we didn't add the right labor for one wheel. We actually had to do both wheels. And so it's actually $2,100 and not $1,800. So just to make things worse, I had to add another $300 onto that cost. So I'm like, okay. Well, what if instead of both wheels, like you guys recommend, you just do one wheel just so I can get it off? And they said that's $1,400. So I was like, okay, let me think it over. And then my girlfriend picked me up, and then I went home. And then I spoke with my parents. I spoke with my girlfriend's dad, who has some connections. And I spoke with AAA, and I found there was another mechanic shop that can say that they can actually do it for less. And so then I was like, okay, cool. They didn't give me an exact quote, but they said definitely at least $500 savings from the $2,100. So I was like, cool, that's great. Okay, let me see if I could where their location is. And it's 2 minutes away from this AAA shop where my car is. So I was like, cool, it should be easy to get a tow truck driver over there. And then I found out that my AAA membership allows you to have 4 free tows during the year. So I wouldn't even have to pay for the tow. So I'm like, cool. Now it's the next day. Now I'm working from home. Now I want to call a tow truck driver to take my car 2 minutes away to this other mechanic shop who said that they could do it for cheaper. So I called the AAA shop or AAA and I say, okay, I want my car towed from this location to that location. They're like, okay, great. We'll have it driving there in 90 minutes. And then an hour or 2 hours go by, and I call, and the car still has not left the facility. And I call AAA again. I'm like, why hasn't it left the facility? And they say, oh, it's actually because this tow truck driver brought the wrong type of tow truck. It was a flatbed, and they actually needed a wheel lift tow truck. So I'm like, okay, can you make sure that you send a tow truck with a wheel lift? Because for some reason I wasn't communicated to send another tow truck. And they say, okay, yeah, sure, 90 minutes, we'll do it. Another 2 hours goes by, I call back, and they say, yeah, it hasn't left the facility. So I say, why? And they say, oh, actually, the second request that you put in was brought to the exact same tow truck driver with the flatbed. And for some reason, no action was done. He just denied the request, and the car is still there. So I say, okay, can you please send a tow truck to this location, and a tow truck that has a wheel lift, so you could just drive 2 minutes away, just down the street, less than a mile, by the way. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll make sure we get it for you. And then finally, an hour and a half later, I get a call saying that my car is now at this new facility, and they take a look at it and they quote me a price of $1,500, which is a $600 savings from what AAA shop told me, and I get it fixed, and now I have my car done for $1,500, which is still painful.
Congratulations, Al! You saved $500. Let me just double check. You got one car wheel fixed?
No, so they did both. They did both.
Oh.
Or 15, yeah.
Wait, awesome. I just heard the stupid applause. Wait, so Alex, you said that you got both of them fixed for $1,500, right?
Right.
Okay. I was asking my brother, because he's into cars, so I was trying to see if you got scammed or not. And he said the first offer was definitely a scam.
Yeah, $2,100 because they said they had to replace the right axle and then do a wheel alignment and then replace the stabilizer bar. I mean, I don't really know much about cars, so I sort of trusted them, but I also didn't trust them because they're AAA, and clearly AAA is dumb.
Moose, I hope your card has the same thing happen to it now.
One thing. Already.
Alex, do you hear this guy?
It was like the rotor.
Moose, you got to repeat all that. You were very laggy.
You sound like a robot, man. Bro, my brother, what are you saying?
Moose.
Bro, no, we cannot understand you, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Hello?
Yes, Moose.
Hello?
Hello?
My
Oh my god.
Moose shit.
I'll try and scrape together what happened last time and put it into this episode, but I can't get any guarantees. So just to double check, we'll move on. But I still need to do the intro. So welcome to Moose, where we spout bullshit. My name is Moose, and I'm joined by my dazzling diviners, Kub and Al. How you guys doing today?
Moose is probably the most incompetent idiot you'll ever meet, right? So we already we started recording this already. Alex tells a funny story about his car and all the struggles he just went through with it for like 15 minutes, right? We listen to it, we get through a whole story, and then Moose is sounding like fucking Optimus Prime on the other side. Nobody can fucking understand what he's saying. And then we have to restart, and then now we're doing the intro again.
And nobody knows if we still have the recording.
And we also, it's not like we don't have something to do today. Like, we're all going to meet up at the same place today with
in less than an hour.
Friends. So, like, in an hour, literally at 1 o'clock. And it's not like Alex lives, 30 minutes away. And, oh, yeah, Alex, remember when Moose asked to push the podcast back 30 minutes originally, too?
I remember that.
Oh, yeah, you can't forget about that because we're supposed to start at 11, and now we start at 11:30, and now it's 12 o'clock, and we have nothing.
Literally you're such a sour puss.
Shut up.
Such a sour puss.
You know why, Moose? Because when it's just me by myself, there's a proven track record of success. And then when it's you, it's just like 0 views on YouTube. Even Alex got 5 views.
It is sad.
Yeah, tell him,
this
Alex.
Is bait.
Talk to him.
And I'm not biting. You want to know why? You want to know why I'm not biting anymore? Because I feel like I have gotten the fucking reputation of, oh my god, Moose gets into so many fights. Oh my god, Moose starts so many fights. Even though I don't do shit. I ask for my opinion and give my opinion. And I'm the one who has get clowned on. Not fucking fair. Whatever.
What are you talking about fights, bro? Are you talking about the debate you got into yesterday?
You want to talk about that, Moose?
I was talking about bait in general because it's debate. No, I don't want to talk about that. Want to know why? Because I feel like, regardless of whatever I say, what?
That was just a debate. I didn't think that was a fight. I just thought you guys were having a civil conversation. I don't know if that's what you were referring to, but
it sort of is. But it's also like sort of the point of what people were saying at the time, right?
No one knows what we're talking about.
A little bit of context. There was a... Yeah, what? So there was like a little bit of a disagreement in regards to interpretations of certain things made yesterday. And I was specifically asked for my opinion during that entire thing, right? Despite me just answering the question as best as I could, and I was not the one escalating it or pushing it to any like further extremes, just giving my opinion because I was asked for it. Despite that, I feel as though I am getting a reputation of being a guy who gets into fights, because there was a meme sent into the chat saying Moose getting into the 50th argument this week, and I'm like, but I mean, I didn't do it, I didn't start it, but I'm still getting that reputation for some reason.
Oh, no, this is... No, Akinola just said that because he just hates you. But I don't think he... Like, from this one... this one wasn't a fight. This one was just... You are
just an argumentative person. And I think even he would agree with that.
No. Yeah, that's true. But to him, anytime you, like, voice your opinion and you and someone are going back and forth, then it just looks like a fight. That's just on him. Like, that wasn't a fight. But that was just him cracking a joke because he didn't understand. But that I don't think that. I think you do get into fights, but not for that one. Because I think you just have anger issues. Deeply rooted anger issues.
Whatever.
So, do we have a topic for today's episode? Or?
Don't have anger issues. I'm actually very much in control of my emotions.
That is false, bro. That's
such
false.
An interesting question, right?
Even if you're not... Yo, shut up. Even if it's not anger, you are not in control of your emotions. Like, you just get randomly sad, too. Like, that's the same thing. You just have no grip on your emotions. You're like one of the least level-headed people I know.
I get randomly sad. I get sad for reasons.
Yeah, but it's always over something, like, minor.
I get sad.
Like, the major stuff I get, but, like, sometimes we're just hanging out, and, like, nothing that happens when we hang out, like, constitutes getting sad. To be honest, except like there's like certain examples, but like most of the time with you, not really. I think you just need to, chill out sometime. Stop getting so angry or sad.
I am Mr. Chill. That's like what my nickname is, I'm pretty sure. Right?
Are you sure about that?
Isn't that? Aren't you the only one that calls yourself that? Unironically.
I know my sound effect.
Do we have a topic for today's episode?
We could talk more shit about Moose.
Moose? Oh my god. I'm about to start.
Alex, how did you feel after that one day when you
Is this because I asked you guys
absolutely
to carry
greened
the
out?
episode, or give you guys time?
Moose, what is the topic?
Hello?
Oh my god.
Oh, Moose. Alex, let's save this. Let's talk about that day that you greened out.
Okay. Well, I actually talked a little bit about that in my solo episode if you had listened to that. But I talked about
I don't listen
how...
to you, man.
Okay. Well, I was basically talking about the feeling of being high and how it's hard to put it into words. And every time I tried to put it into words, you guys thought I was annoying.
No. I didn't think you were annoying. The problem was that you were just, like, not stringing together sentences. So, for us to try to listen to it was literally, like, imagine every, like, 2 words you stop and you have to laugh. Like, I understand it,
no.
but I was almost kind of, like, trying to do you a favor of, like, because I've gotten like that before where I was like, damn, I'm, like, super fried. And I was like, I just want to chill and I don't really want to talk. And we all kept, I was doing it too. Like, we all kept like, oh, Alex, what do you think? What do you think? And then sometimes I just like said it. So like you would get the break of not having to talk and you could just chill. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, I feel like
the
that's
thing.
annoying.
I also get really giggly, and it's to a point where I get angry about how much I'm laughing because I can't string together a sentence.
See, this is the thing, Alex, right? You can't get mad at like stuff that you start involuntarily doing when you're high. Like, I also, all my friends get that way. Like, bro, the simplest shit, like literally yesterday, right? We made a plan. We would take a gummy and then we play NCAA, right? And it was just 3 of us playing and all 3 of us were high. And like the littlest shit, or like any time we play, any game we play, like the littlest shit will just set everybody off, like dying of laughter. It might not even be funny, but everybody just starts laughing. And if you fight it, that's when you start getting stressed out. And I think, honestly, the amount that you have definitely contributed to it, but also the your whole like mental side going into taking the gummy also contributed to you greening out. Like, you gotta just let it take you for the ride, bro.
So in the beginning, I was sort of just saying every single thought that was in my head. But then I got angry, like I said, about how much I laughed. So then towards the end, I tried to stay silent because I was getting angry at how much I was laughing. So then I was like, okay, let me just be normal and just stay silent. And then that also had the opposite problem where I'm still trying to fight something I'm involuntarily doing. So it was a learning experience, but I still think I should not have had a whole gummy.
No,
but
Alex, that day,
you could build
I
tolerance to it.
One. Yeah, no, you can. But that day, like, think about it. I use it more often than you do, and that day I had a half of the one that you had, even. So like, you definitely didn't need that much, but also like, when you start going silent, you're still gonna have all the same like retard thoughts that you, oh my god, all the like weird thoughts that you're having, and all the the BS that you're saying you started just holding in because you were getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff is still in your mind, and the more it just runs through your mind without getting out, it's just the worse it's gonna get. So that's why I just be saying all sorts of nonsense.
Most. Welcome.
It says you joined as a producer and isn't being recorded.
Awesome.
Bro, Moose. So Alex, where do you want to get food today on Moose because of this?
Oh,
that's
a great question. Yeah, why is it always Moose with the tech issues? And He's
Alex,
the
what do
one
you
that
think?
even
I say
recommended
we
it.
go to Chipotle. You know, we each get like a double steak bowl with queso and any add-on possible. Make sure it reaches like $20 a bowl from
That
Chipotle.
is
I'm feeling
completely reasonable.
yeah, I think so, right? Yeah, we are. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
we're
So
just doing our job, but like it says Moose isn't being recorded, you know.
this is gonna be such a shit comeback episode where we have to string together 3 different recordings. Most isn't being recorded. Most is lagging.
Dude, so are you gonna buy us Chipotle then? Yay! Oh
Awesome.
my God, Alex, big us dub. All right, now Alex, we could just talk about that day at Burlington, and Moose can't give his opinion on it. So we could just say anything we want.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay.
you
So
remember when we were in the store and Moose just
yeah.
started bugging out?
Yeah. Can
Like
you
it
explain that
started
a little more?
making
Because
yeah,
I was a little high.
Because yeah, you were paying for all the stuff, and there was like 50 items. It felt like, but right, we're sitting there, and I talked about this in our thing. He doesn't want to stay to listen. That's hilarious.
Wait. So give some context. So we went to Berlin. I mean, I guess I don't care if people know that I work at Berlin.
I mean, when I said it, and I also mentioned it in my solo episode, I didn't say the place you worked at, but since you just dropped it, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so we went to Burlington because I get a discount by working there, and so we brought. It was like 5 of us there, and we all got stuff, and we were at the checkout area, and then what happened?
Oh yeah, so right, we get to the checkout, and so the whole time, right, like we all. So imagine it's me, Moose, Mood, and Bingus in the car on the way, right? And I took my half of the gummy. Oh no, he's back. God damn it. And it says
I sure
recording, too.
fucking am.
Yeah, it doesn't
Welcome to
matter. We're
Moose
still
shit,
gonna
'cause
talk
this is
about
fucking
it. No,
Moose
but
shit.
right, we start driving there, and I took my half of the gummy on the way. And I was like, okay, so by the time we get to Burlington, I'll start feeling it a little bit. And then you 3 took it when we got to your apartment, right? And then we get to Burlington, we shop around, whatever. It took us a while, honestly. We're probably in there for like
I took my
45
gummy in the
minutes or an hour.
parking lot.
Oh, really? I thought you took it at
Parking
your
lot.
house.
No, before we went into the store, I took it.
Oh, damn, that hits
So
you
that's
fast.
why at the checkout, I was already feeling it.
Yeah, no, I could tell. But yeah, right? So we take it there, and or you guys took it there, and we go in there. We're in there for a while. Like, I start feeling it more and more as we're in there, and I was like, bro, this is kind of AIDS. But I was still chilling, right? Because I was like, okay, all of us are fried, like, besides Moose. Moose is chilling. We're all chilling. And then we get to the checkout, right? And then some context before, right? So in the group chat, we wanted to get this, or Moose wanted to get this pizza place, right? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. And then I say yes, but nobody else says yes. So I was like, I didn't know if we were doing it or not. And we go, and when we get to the thing, the checkout, while Alex is checking out, I'm telling Jason and Akinola, I was like, yo, I could just like fuck up some Taco Bell right now. And then they were like, yeah, bro, that sounds like a good idea. And then Alex also was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So then we were all like, okay, why don't we just go to Taco Bell then? And then Moose was like, can we go to the pizza place because we already made that plan? And then Jason and Bingus were like, oh, but we could just like switch the plan because we didn't even agree to it. We were just like, let's get Taco Bell now. And I was like, okay, like that seems fine. And then Moose was like, oh, can you accommodate me by going to this pizza place? And then everybody was like, oh, but it's like 4 of us here, so wouldn't it make more sense for you to do the other way around? He was like, well, you aren't like saying this to Jason. He was like, yeah, you aren't being very accommodating. And I was like, but you're like the one guy opposing. And we also said like, oh, Moose, if you want to go there and then go to Taco Bell and then go to that spot, like nobody has a problem with that. Besides Moose. Moose didn't want to make a double stop. But Moose is just getting progressively louder and louder. And then him and Bingus get into it. And I don't know if Moose wants me to talk about that. So I'll leave that up to him because he's back now. He could explain that.
You can finish your story and then I'll...
Yeah, but Moose was just getting, like, extremely loud. And it was very, like... We were all fried, so it was making me very anxious and very nervous. And yeah, Moose, just please keep your emotions in check, man.
He doesn't like when you talk about his
My
emotions.
take of it?
All right, go ahead, Moose. I want to hear your side of the story because we haven't talked about it yet. So,
Okay. So, broad strokes, yeah, fine, whatever, you're right. But, like, I wasn't really all that angry when you guys said Taco Bell. I mean, I felt a little bit disappointed in the sense that it wasn't a matter of, oh, I'm not willing to eat Taco Bell or whatever, or I'm not willing to eat pizza. It's the fact that the two guys that don't make or don't even attempt to, like, actually plan out anything are the ones, like, basically hijacking the plans. They had the opportunity to say what they wanted to get for food. And especially Bingus. He doesn't answer in the group chat ever. Literally, you can text him every single day for a month straight and you might get one reply ever. The guy doesn't know how to text. And so it was infuriating me that the guy who purposely chose not to be a part of the planning process is the ones like, we're going to Taco Bell now. And then that's that. There was like no discussion, no communication, or anything like that. But that wasn't the part that pissed me off. The part that pissed me off that day was when he came up to me and is like, well, we go out and we eat all these halal foods all the time, and we always accommodate you. You can't just accommodate us for once? As if I don't get Taco Bell all the time with you guys, or we haven't gone to any other place besides halal places. Even though halal places are something that we can all eat, it's not like disgusting food. And we don't even go to halal places that often anymore. It's usually just a vegetarian place, and we went to sushi the last 2 times we hung out. So I don't know where the fuck he was at, and I knew, and that's the point that I made, right? He hasn't hung out with us in like fucking a year, and so that's why he's saying, oh, well, we get halal places all the time, because yeah, maybe a year ago, but not right now, where we go like pretty diverse places. So that was pissing me off even more. And so that's when I started getting loud. I'll admit, I was getting loud then. But I wasn't getting loud before. And I wasn't that pissed off about the fucking Taco Bell.
yeah, I think I kind
But
of.
as you can see, I am completely in control of my emotions. 100%.
That's not
I
good.
mean, I still don't think that's a great example of you being in control of your emotions. Because even
I
if
disagree.
what you said is true, you were yelling in the store. It's just not a good look. Like, don't you agree with that? Like, even if he's in the wrong, and like he's like he probably, let's be honest, like he probably is in the wrong. But I think the whole Taco Bell, like the way it started, was like a miscommunication between you guys, because it was actually me that asked. Because, well, I told them, and then that's how they got the idea. But I was the one that like started the Taco Bell like idea. But I get what you're saying of them too. But like, even then, like you did raise your voice in the store, so like you are technically wrong for that.
Okay.
That's fair, right?
Yes.
Wow.
That was.
He admitted he was wrong for the first time ever.
You keep
I
saying
don't
that,
think,
but
because
that's not
I
true
mean, I feel
ever.
like he was right in half the scenario, but I just
No,
don't think his
I
response
was
was
I
right.
was just baiting Moose to see if he would get angry and completely contradict himself.
Yeah,
Like,
Bad look, Al.
Okay.
Bad look.
I don't know. Moose is just always getting so angry and makes everybody so uncomfortable. Like
I don't know.
I don't know why can't Moose can't just be like a normal, chill guy that's just not like being mean to everybody. Because Moose is so mean.
Constantly overreacting and raising his voice, getting angry, starting arguments.
Starting? Or, that's bait. That's bait. I see it. You're not good at baiting, Al, because I'm not taking it.
You do
Okay.
be starting arguments sometimes, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, okay. Moose, I'm gonna tell him about this story, this argument that we had last night. Okay. Regardless of whether or not Moose was being serious in his actual thought process and argument, it's still dumb. Okay. So I forget how this started. We were just playing Fortnite. We were just being dumb, right? And I forget how this started, but somehow we got to the topic of teaching and what makes a good teacher, and Moose was like, it's not teaching them what to think, it's teaching them how to think, which, like, okay, has some merit in some instances, right? Like, to a certain extent, but Moose is not. He goes, he's black and white, right? So I say, okay, Moose, if you were a teacher and I asked you, why is the ocean blue? Then he goes on saying, oh, well, why do you think the ocean's blue? What are other things that are blue? And then somehow we got to the conversation of God. God, this is a progression from the ocean being blue to God. And then he's like, oh, actually, nature just makes the ocean blue. Okay. And then we got to another topic.
Are you saying I said that? Wait, are you saying I said that?
Yes.
That's not what I said.
Okay, then
You said that.
we got to it.
I said,
another
why is the ocean
topic.
blue? And you're like, oh, the nature made it blue.
Okay, and then we got to another topic where he still tried to prove his point about not teaching them what to think, but how to think. And then I say, okay, what if I spoke zero Japanese, right? And I wanted to learn how to speak Japanese, okay? What's the best way to do that? To get a teacher, right? Okay, get a teacher. Now, in this instance, in language, when you get a teacher, it's not teaching you how to think. It's literally teaching you what to think. Because when you're translating, there's no other option. You can't think about how to learn Japanese if you aren't literally taught the translation. But Mose is dying on his hill of how to think. So he says, oh, actually, the best way is if you get a teacher that just points at stuff. So the teacher cannot speak English at all, right? It's a completely Japanese teacher. And then say you're in Japan and you have this teacher who doesn't speak any English and you don't speak any Japanese. So the the professor would just go up to like a chair and just say the word of chair in Japanese and just point at it, and just like point at a table or point at a ceiling or something, and would just say the word in Japanese, and he thinks, because that is not teaching you what to think, it's teaching you how to think. It's you connecting the two objects together, the table and the word that's coming out of his mouth, you're connecting them together, and it's actually better than if you had a teacher that spoke Japanese and English. And he would just not die on this hill. And I couldn't tell if he was purposely trying to make me angry or if he's actually this stupid, but he kept on trying to tell me how it's actually better to have a teacher who doesn't speak English trying to teach you Japanese.
All right, so why don't we ask him, Moose, were you trying to make Alex angry, or were you genuinely is that your genuine opinion?
A little bit of both. I mean, I do think what my opinion was at the time, there is like a certain degree of like truth to it. Because you tell me, how did Squanto learn English when he was a Native American and Native Americans don't speak English? How did Helen Keller learn to read and write? How did, I don't know, babies learn to speak? They learn it through context and just having people point out, this is this is that.
Okay.
But there's a what, because they're learning something. Like how is like how to enunciate words, but what is the words, which you have to do both of.
Yes. But that was like this is like two separate arguments that I was combining. That argument about how to teach is, I made the argument that teachers aren't necessarily supposed to teach you what the material is necessarily. I mean, there's like a certain aspect to that when it comes to their job, but in essence, they're supposed to be teaching you how to learn, because then your own natural curiosity will help you learn even faster. Because if you think about it, every piece of knowledge is on a computer, it's on textbooks. You can find it if you want to find it. It's not hard to find. But because our own natural curiosity is limited by both our attention span and different other factors, teachers are supposed to be there to help nurture your instinctive curiosity, basically.
I think I agree with that, because like if you think about it, like even like subjects that I originally thought would like go against what you said, like just by the story that Alex told would be like any subjects that are based on like getting to like a concrete answer, where it's like math, right? Like technically like you learn how to do problems, but like what you're learning is all the same, because numbers are just like concrete things, you know what I mean? Like dividing a number is gonna equal the multiplication table. Like that is what it is. Like that, you know what I mean? There's no right or there is a way to learn it, but like that on its own is already set in stone. Like there's no differing way. Like 7 times 7 is always going to be 49, like that thing, right? But
Yeah, because
like,
think about
if-
what the foundational.
all right, go ahead.
Yeah, think about like what the foundational level of like math is. They're like one of the first things that they teach you before they get into trigonometry. Like they can take you step by step on how to solve like a calculus problem when you're like a fifth grader, and you might understand how to do that process by the end. But instead of doing that, they instead teach you this is what the order of operations is. This is PEMDAS. This is what you're going to be using. This is your tool. This is how you learn to do your other stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I
I
feel
just
like,
wanna-
bro, like, shut up. God. But right, like, that point Moose makes is true, though. Because, like, let's say there's a, like, even in a calculus class, right? Like, if they're not teaching you how to learn, then why aren't they just letting you have, like, a screen open, ready to just plug in the problem that they give you? Because if it's all what you're learning, then they just want you to get to a certain answer. And you could just find that on the internet by plugging it into a thing, and they'll show you the steps of how to do it and like give you every single step, which doesn't help you on how to learn because you're not learning, oh, like, why do I multiply this? Why do I factor this out? Why do I like do this, that? Like, why do I differentiate this? Like, that's the how. So I think what he's saying makes sense. I get what you're saying.
Okay. First, I started off this conversation by saying it did have merit to it. I actually agree with what you're saying. But all of this stuff, Moose had zero nuance last night. He refused to concede on any point because there are certain subjects that it's better if you like math, where you're teaching how to learn, because you can't, like, math, like you said, is concrete numbers and you put the numbers together, right? But there are certain subjects, like language, where you literally have to know the words in order to even start, right? Okay? Moose had no
I'm glad that you
nuance.
brought that point up, Al. Let's bring that point up, right? You said language. Why is it that we need teachers for languages? Why can't I just get an English to Spanish dictionary and then learn how to speak Spanish through that? Right? Because that's the essence of what to learn. The English to Spanish dictionary is everything that I would need to know to help me get from English to Spanish. But they're not
But
teaching you
Moose,
that. in
but
Spanish
also
class, are
like
they?
what's it called, Moose? If what Alex is saying is true, which you could argue right now, but he was making it seem like you were saying that this argument was like black or white, like you have to choose either how or either what to learn. So like for language, like obviously you need to know the how. Like having the English to Spanish dictionary or whatever isn't gonna really help you because you don't know how to put like, you know, like the changing of all the fucking like forms and all that. Like you're not gonna learn that from what, you got to learn that from how. But it is both. Like, do you think it's one or the other, or do you think it's both?
Well, I think
Say it's
a
one or
little
the
bit
other.
of both,
Say it.
but I think it's mostly how.
Oh.
No, so here's the thing, right? Because you keep this is another thing. This is like another fucking nitpick. You guys force me into these fucking black and white positions by giving me like
No, we don't.
outlandish hypothetical questions.
I
Yes, you
just
do.
asked
Yes,
you. Because Moose, you always die on the hill of whatever side that you're going on. So the point is, right? This is the whole point. This is how it works. Because in order to test the range of how much you believe into this, in order to test the range of it, we go into the deepest hypothetical. So, like,
Yeah.
if you support that deepest hypothetical, then we know that, oh, that's really, like, he feels, like, really strongly about this. Like, this is a guaranteed concrete point for him. Whereas, like, if you ask me, like, a ridiculous hypothetical on this, like, the idea of, like, I point at a chair and then I tell the guy in my language how to say this, like, by just pointing at it, I would be like, no, that's stupid. Like, but you would defend that. That's why we always have to test you to the extreme, because we never know whether you're being serious, because you always, like, take your points to the extreme.
Yes.
No, but that's it, right? Because you guys don't know if I'm being serious. Even though I don't think I've ever said, yeah, I'm not being serious about this point. I'm pretty sure I'm
Well, that's
pretty
because you
serious about every point that I
consistently
make.
will argue for like an hour on points that, and you have done this before, and you've had admitted it, where you'll just keep an argument going for the sake of arguing. So that's why we need to test that. Otherwise, like, if we just keep going, then we're gonna like, unless we test your theory and whether to see. That's why I just asked you that question of like, oh, do you think it's like both, like this or that, or do you think it's like one or like that? It's because I genuinely need to know, because half the time I can't tell whether you're actually behind an idea or you're just doing it for the sake of keeping an argument going.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have an arguing fetish for some reason.
I don't have an argument fetish.
Sure,
The way I
buddy.
see it, right, when you guys are doing this, is that if I give you guys an inch, you guys will literally take a mile. If I say, you know what, actually I don't believe that, then especially Al, will be like, oh, so you don't believe in any of it. So this is really all bullshit, and you don't actually believe in anything that what you just said.
Name one time I did that.
Whenever,
Moose.
when you were going to the gym, and you started asking me just weird questions about religion and love and everything like that, like all those, oh, but would you like marry someone who is like fat? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have an issue with that. And then you started pushing, and then to the point where like, you know what? No, I probably wouldn't. And you're like, oh, so then you wouldn't. So then you're just as bad as me, really. And actually,
No.
giving this all high and mighty fucking
Most-
personality,
This
trying to
is
show
a
that you're
perfect-
so much better than us.
You have to take credit. Like, you are saying this as if you have no fault in this, bro. You consistently defend every one of your points to the hill, and you've been doing it before then. So, like, the reason that we keep asking, and Alex does do that, and he's one of the main guys that does it. It's like him and Mood that love to, like, keep poking and prodding until they get you to, like, give an inch, and then they'll, like, jump on it. But that's because you always have done that. You have always, for the longest, just defended your points.
All I'm doing, Moose, is I'm just seeing, like Coop said, where the line is and where you change your mind. So that's why I'm saying I'm pushing it to the extremes, because you keep on defending every single extreme that I go to. So I just need to see where you cross the line. And that's why I say you're black and white all the time, because it seems like every single extreme that I push it to, you keep on dying on that hill. So it seems like your entire thought process is just black or white, and there's no nuance to the line in which you cross.
Yeah, you don't do a good job of, like, differentiating your, like, true position. Like, you gotta be better at, like, stating your position from the start. There's a debate that we always have. It involves me and, let's just say, my stance on my children. And we always go through this, and there's always a hypothetical question. Like, the hypotheticals keep getting more ridiculous and ridiculous. And then at a certain point, I draw the line. And the thing is, since I don't have a history of what you do, Moose, people just kind of accept that as my line. They don't, like, I don't constantly get questioned back and forth of, like, oh, but, like, you were willing to do this, so then does that mean this? Like, that's because I make my point more clear. I don't think you're good at making your, like, true point clear.
I think
Just an opinion. Just an opinion, Moose. You don't have to, like, get mad at me. It's just an opinion. Like, I'm just stating my opinion.
So funny.
Shut up. Alex laughed, bro. And so did you scumbag.
I think I'm making my points clear, though, when I'm talking. Like the argument yesterday. I think I made my points very clear, and I had nuance in that conversation. A lot of nuance. More nuance than I probably should have given it. But I still had nuance in it.
I'm not gonna lie. When you start rambling, guys like Alex will just tune you out, bro. Because you just be like yapping, bro. Come on, man. Don't lie to him, Alex. Don't lie to him.
Okay. I want to hear what nuance Moose was talking about, because we literally spoke about pointing to objects and saying it, and then I explicitly asked him,
Not that argument yesterday, the other argument yesterday.
What other argument?
The one in the chat that we were making, the one with...
that
where
one.
I was asked my opinion.
oh, well, no one knows what that is unless you'd like to explain it.
Wasn't that in this recording session?
I know, but I still don't know what it's about.
I don't want to really talk about what it's about, but I'm just...
Okay, Moose had an unpopular opinion, opinion that he knew would be unpopular in this particular group chat, and then is like shocked when people, even though he made good points, and I agree that he made good points, people just fundamentally disagree with him, and then he takes that as, oh, like they just don't think I'm like serious about my argument, or they're like, oh, why is he dying on this hill? Like, Moose, that is genuinely your opinion, but even though you make good points on why you hold that opinion, if people just fundamentally disagree with you, then they're still going to be, like, at the end of it, being like, oh, Moose is still wrong. Or like, wow, I can't believe Moose is defending that, because they just fundamentally disagree with you. You know what I mean?
I didn't think that it would have been that crazy of a take. But it's also like our
Bro, look at the group chat that it's
conversation
in,
we've had,
man.
like,
Look at the group chat that it's
5,000
in.
times.
Look at the group
Okay, I
chat, though.
guess
Come
that's
on, man. Like, you could tell that it was going to be like that. Like, look at it, bro. It's
Yeah,
like a
okay.
group
I guess
of,
that's
like,
fine.
20-year-old or, like, 22-year-old fucking just men. Like, it's obvious the result of the conversation. This is probably giving the audience some good context clues on what the conversation was. But,
No, I mean we can
like,
give like an
obviously you were
aspect
going to
of
have
it.
the fucking thing.
No, we can give like an aspect of it. So it's like a running joke in like the group that
Moose is
I'm
a
a
cock.
cuck. That's
Oh my
not
God.
true though.
You said that. You
I'm-
said that on the podcast that the public
Cuck
has
Moose.
access to. You said
Cuck
that.
Moose.
I
Moose
don't
is a
think
cock.
it's personally
Moose
true.
is a cock. But
That's
he
not-
is a
that's-
cock, though.
that's not
He is.
true.
He is.
You should hear some of the stuff he's admitted, bro.
He said he would let any of us sleep with his wife if that's what they were interested in. He said that.
No, most you might have to
So
cut
much
this
out
out. There's
of
no way you
context.
want this out.
There is no cutting this out. Moose opened the door to it, so I'm just gonna take advantage of that. If he opens the door to it, then then it's all fair game.
I don't think that the context right there is missing, and I don't know if I should get into the context. I'm not going to get into the context.
It's
right
just
now.
hard to imagine what
That's where we're ending the
context would make that
conversation.
acceptable.
We're ending the conversation here. We're ending. We're ending the
That's
conversation
hilarious.
here. Thank you so much for listening. Please go ahead and like and subscribe. Go check us out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Google Podcasts is not a thing. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, which is where we're recording, and YouTube and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. We'll be back next week. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.